Good morning. Good morning. I am Dawn Delahunty. I am a certified personal trainer, health coach, and group instructor. And it took me 9 Facebook Live first sessions to learn that I need to introduce myself when we get started. We're using the month of April to, I'm using the month of April to learn about Facebook Live. But we're also using the month of April to own our own health, to find our best self. And bringing our best self to the next season is going to give us more choices. And that's a good thing. So, how was your Easter? It was different, wasn't it? Was it absolutely perfect? No. We did things, I tried to employ like the things that we talked about. We did some goal setting, set ourselves up to succeed by including healthy food and activities. And still we showed up and we had to modify because things happen, life happens. And that's exactly what you got to do with your workout. You know what? You plan to succeed, you add in healthy eating, you add in activities, and then you show up and modify. And you're never going to get the perfect package that lasts forever. It will last for this season, and then you'll tweak it for the next season. And that's what life is. That's what owning your own fitness is all about. So, and even in the end, you got to encourage yourself. Some things didn't work. That's okay. I learned from it. And I do want to encourage you with that. If something really works, take a step back and figure out why. Why does it work? So that I can multiply it, I can reproduce it in other areas. And if something doesn't work, then figure out why. Don't just toss the whole thing out. In my own personal example is I always hated running, and I finally thought, why? Why do I hate running so bad? I'm like, because it makes my feet hurt. And so I went to Extra Mile here in Valpo and had my gait analyzed and everything, and they're like, well, you're wearing a shoe that's a full size too small. And I'm like, how can that be? This is the shoe size I always wear. And they're like, yeah, that's the shoe size you always wear, except for when you're running. You're supposed to be up a size. So they helped me get the right shoes, and now I absolutely love running. So I'm so thankful that I didn't throw the whole thing out. Figure out what you don't like, and at the very least, you'll know to avoid that sort of thing in other workouts or other activities. Okay, so Friday. We talked about knee pain and how to modify a workout for knee pain. All right, but today I want to talk to you a little bit more about what I do as a personal trainer. If a client of mine has knee pain, we try and obviously modify to accommodate it, but we also try and figure out if there's something, if there's a muscular imbalance that may be causing the pain. And it wouldn't just be knee pain, it could also be back pain. Pain is sometimes, let's start with a muscular imbalance. Muscular imbalance is like 2 opposing muscles, and one of them is shortened or is stronger than the other. And it causes this imbalance that will cause pain. But the crazy thing is the rest of your body will try and make up for that imbalance, and you can feel the pain someplace in a completely different area because of muscular imbalance in one area. And one of the most common is your hip flexors, which is a group of 11 muscles that either attach in lower lumbar area or your pelvis, and from there they attach to the femur or the tibia. And their sole purpose is to lift your knee up. Okay, I'm going to show you an exaggerated version of what happens to the rest of your body if your hip flexors are shortened, which if most of us, most of America, most of the world, we sit too much, whether at the computer or at the TV or whatever, we sit too much, and that's going to cause those hip flexors to shorten up. So, all right. So, like I said, it's very exaggerated. You don't look like this, but if those hip flexors are shortened, like this, what's going to happen is when you want to stand up, your back is going to arch to try and make up the difference. That's going to cause a strain on your back, okay? The other thing is, when you are walking or you're running, there's there's like a gentle rotation in as you're doing it. Your body's built for that. But if these hip flexors are shortened, what's going to happen, your foot is still going to have that little bit of inner rotation, but your hip flexors is going to say no way, and the difference is going to be made up in your knees, okay? The knee is going to feel the pain of that dysfunction, that fight. So, there's a couple ways you can test to see if you have short hip flexors. It's pretty easy. First one, we'll just take it to the floor, okay? I've got my feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and you can pretend like I'm laying down. But what I'm gonna do is I wanna rotate those toes in. See if you can see my toes, okay? They should be able to rotate in about 30 degrees without there being a strain up here. If there's a strain up here, then that's a sign to me, okay? And another thing you may find out is that your feet do something like this, where one turns in okay, but the other one does not. And so there can be an imbalance between the two sides. Like maybe the way you sit, it keeps one hip flexor longer and the other is shortened, sitting on your hip or something like that, or the way you stand. So there can absolutely be an imbalance between the two. All right, so that's one way. Keep in mind, again, I should be laying back to show that to you, okay? Here's a second one. Now my bench is a little narrow to illustrate this for you, but I think we can still do it. So, if you have something to lay back on where your feet can be off the sides, you're gonna lay back, and with one leg staying down, you're gonna bring the other knee up. Okay, and I'm going to turn this a little bit so you can see. Maybe I will. Caught on my mat. Okay, so I should be able to bring this knee up to my chest without raising this leg up as well, and without my back arching to try and make the difference. So if I can keep my back down and my leg down while I bring the other knee up to my chest, and be able to do that on both sides, then I probably don't have a problem with my hip flexors. And my knees, pain in knees or back, probably is not related to that. But it's an easy way to figure it out. So let's say you do have an issue with the hip flexors. There's a couple of things you can do. Actually, there's many things you can do. There is using a roller and a massage ball or a tennis ball. You can, I don't have time to talk about it today, we'll talk about it another time, but if you have access to this, just Google myofascial release for hip flexors, and they'll give you some rolling ideas to help loosen that up and give your body that range of motion again, because you know what, your glutes, which are the opposing muscle, they can't engage properly if your hip flexor is short, okay? Another exercise, if you have bands that you can use, and I'm not in a good place to show you, but what you would do is put the band around one foot and around the other foot, and you'd be holding onto something with perfect posture, and you'd be lifting up, pause, release, lift up, pause, release, okay? And that will strengthen the hip flexor, help to lengthen it out a little bit. One more thing. When you're doing stuff like that, if you're going to be your own personal trainer, you need a mirror. You need to watch, just have this out-of-body experience. Don't be judging yourself, just this out-of-body experience to make sure you're aligned properly, that you're not just going through the motions, that the form is proper, and that you can truly assess if your back is arching, if the leg's staying down, all that sort of thing. Okay, so I think that's it. We're going to start with our warm-up. Like I said, I'm going to go through and mention things that are working our hip flexors. So, what are you going to need today? You're going to need a mat, a mat, and then you're going to need either a bench or a high step or a chair, something that's not going to move on you, but it's high. It's kind of up to your knee height. And then a couple of what you would consider heavy weights and a couple of what you would consider medium weights, okay? So let's get started with our warm-up. All right, work it up. And even with this warm-up, you're not just going through the motions. Think about what your body's doing. As you pull those arms back, those muscles in your back are contracting. They're warming up, okay? Let's take it to a hamstring curl. Reaching and pulling. Think about what your belly's doing. It should always be held in firm. We're going to press back with the arms and take it to leg extensions, okay? Now here, we're loosening up the hip flexors a little bit, warming up the glutes. Good, let's take it to some lunges. Side to side. See if you can go down a little bit lower each time. And you do want to feel the tension of a stretch, but if you're feeling the pain in a knee, then you need to modify this and maybe not go so low until we can figure out, what's causing that pain, if it's something we just simply need to work around, or if it's something that can be fixed. But that kind of pain you don't want to ignore. And I always, let's take this down. I'm going to take it down into a deep squat. You're using those elbows to drive the knees out and move the hips around a little bit. Now, if you're under the care of a physical therapist, sometimes those exercises do really hurt. And you need to press through that. But without that advice and that counsel, you really should not press through that sort of pain. All right, bring the hips up, slowly curl up. All right, I'm going to take it down one side, sweep across, and up the other side. Sweep across. Remember at the top, you're kind of leaning back a little bit. Let's do a couple more. Good, take it to some knee hugs. Bring those knees up. Give it a tight squeeze, and then keep moving right to the other side. There you go, change to quadricep stretch. I call that wrong about 50% of the time. I always say, this is why I don't gamble. I get a 50-50 shot. Okay, a couple more. There you go, hip circles. This is another one. It's loosening up those hip flexor muscles. All right, when we do our high kicks, same thing, because that's the purpose of those muscles. Take it to the other side. Okay, so I told you this was my favorite exercise lately. It's going down on your knee. But as Lisa told me, it hurts her to go down on her knee. So if it doesn't, then go ahead and do that. But here's an option if your knee hurts. You put one knee up here, up on your step or your bench. You lean forward, you're getting that stretch in your hip flexor, and you go back. Pull back and get that full stretch. Okay? Same, keep going. It's the same thing on the floor. Okay, you're doing the exact same thing. Work your way back up. Good, sit back in the hips, find that hamstring. You don't want to lean on it with your knee with the leg extended like that. And just point and flex. Good, take it to other side. I'm gonna go to the bench for this side. I got one foot up here, the other foot back. I'm leaning forward to get that stretch in the hip flexor, and then opening that chest up. Good, when I get to the bottom, working my way back up. Back, find that hamstring, point and flex. All right, we're warmed up. I still have not figured out how to show you like a window with a workout in it. And I thought about posting on the wall, but I would have to make it really big, I think. So we're gonna go through this. So this is a fun workout because what we're doing, we've got a list of 10 exercises. We're gonna do 10 of each. And your gift is that the last one on the list falls off each time we go through, okay? So that means there's 10 rounds. First one is gonna be high taps. So we've got our bench. High taps are gonna be tapping on top. We're doing 10 of them before we move on. But you're not touching the side or just kicking it. You're reaching up. This is engaging that hip flexor, bringing that knee up and tapping the top, okay? Reverse lunge with an overhead hold. So you can use one of your heavy weights, maybe two of your medium-sized weights, and you're gonna do the reverse lunge. Now remember, if you have knee pain with those lunges, you're taking it to the wall, wall sit, overhead, if you can, and you're gonna do knee raises, okay? You can even keep your feet down and just do heel raises. Elbows are flexed, because we're not taking the weight in the joint. We wanna take it in the muscle. Ground overhead's the next one, so you can keep that weight, tap the floor, tap overhead. Just doing 10 of them. Incline push-up, going to our bench. Those elbows don't have to brush the sides, but they should be pointed back. Just doing 10 of those. You can take it to the wall if you need to. Otis up. We have not done this one before. So, you've got your one weight. You're gonna tap overhead and then press all the way up. Tap overhead, oops, and press all the way up. So, absolutely you can do that without weight. You do not have to add in the extra resistance. Tap overhead, reach up, okay? Russian twist. We got lots of exercises here. I hope you guys had a good restful weekend. Russian twist, what we're doing for this, I'm sure you've all seen them before, but this is the basic, the proper way of doing it. You're leaning back with a long back, and you just rotate and rotate and rotate. Each rotation is one, okay? Long back, we aren't gonna, if you find your back, rounding over, then you gotta adjust to make sure that that back stays long. Superman, those are, you're on your belly, and you're just looking like Superman. I'm very crowded with my space here, I gotta figure this out. Snatch, we got 3 more. Snatch, you got your weight, and you're just throwing it up there. We're doing 5 on a side before we move on. Rows, both weights, 10 rows. And the last one on our list, which means we're only gonna do it one time, is weighted squats. So, weights on your shoulders, deep squat, stand up, just 10 of them, and then we'll move on. Okay, I gotta scooch my stuff over here so I have a little bit more space. All right, we are gonna get started. You ready? Okay, we're gonna start with high taps. So we got 1, 2, 3, stand tall, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse lunges with that hold. So it's overhead. Whether you're up against a wall or you're on your mat, we're just doing 10 of them. You can absolutely use 2 dumbbells instead of 1, or 2 weights instead of 1. Adds a little bit more variation in there. Let's try 2 more. I should say instability. Adds a little bit more instability in there. Okay. Ground to overhead. Same weight. Here we go. Down and up. 2, 3. Can this be done without extra weight? Absolutely. You got to modify it for you. That's it. Put that down. Here's your push-ups. Incline push-ups. You're exhaling on the way up. Real strong core. All right, that's it for that one. Going down to the floor for our Otis up. So, weight or no weight, it's up to you. But tap overhead, reach up high. This is 5. Make sure you're using a weight that you can keep moving. If your weight's too heavy for you to keep moving, then grab a lighter one or none. Because we want to add a little bit of a cardio component to this. We're going 2 more. Good. Okay, go ahead and put your weight down. I'm going to do that Russian twist. So, long back, arms extended. There's 1, 3, 4. There you go. Flip it over. Superman. That's 1. 2 more. Okay, going back to your feet. Here's our snatch. So just grab that weight, hips are down, and just lead with that elbow and throw that weight up there. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. Take it to the other side. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we're going to rows. So you can grab your heavy weights or your medium weights, either way. 10 of them. Long back. Hinged at the hips. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, last one for this round is going to be those weighted squats. So, weights up high. There you go. Sit back in the hips. Weights over your heels. Two more. There you go. One round done. Go ahead and set the weights down. Grab a drink of water. Get some air circulating if you got a fan. And we'll cross squats off the list because we did it. All right, ready? Back to the top. Here you go, 10 of them. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Reverse lunges with that overhead hold, if you can. Otherwise, just a reverse lunge is awesome. There you go. And you can see what these lunges are doing for your hip flexors. Good. Ground to overhead. Remember, you're using a weight that you can keep moving. Let's go one more. Got it. Take it to your push-ups. On the wall, on the bench. Exhaling on the way up. Two more. Good. Take it down to the floor. Otis up and then Russian twist. Here we go. Make sure you're reaching all the way up at the top. Getting those arms next to your ears. We got two more of these. Good. Set that aside. Russian twist. Long back, long neck. Two more. Those legs should not be moving. Good. Flip it over, Superman. And you can see, this is stretching out your hip flexor by using the opposing muscle, which is the best way to stretch out any muscle. Let's go one more. All right, we're back to our feet. To our snatches. 5 on a side. Real flat back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, here's our rows. This is the last one of this round. So this is the last time we're going to do rows. Got 2 weights, hinged at the hips, real flat back. Two more. Woo. Grab a sip of water. Cross some rows off the list. And we're going back to the top. Here you go. Touching on top. Standing tall. Reverse lunges. Overhead if you can. Two more. All right, ground to overhead. There we go. Make it a strong movement. Here you're strengthening that whole line of muscles posteriorly. Okay, one more. We're on push-ups. help. Good, solid foundation. To the floor. Lotus up. All the way up. And if you need to change weights in the middle, because this is a tough workout, then change it. This is all about modifying it for you. We got 3 more. One more, we're doing the Russian twist. There you go. Long flat back. Make sure those knees are not seesawing back and forth. They're staying right together, right next to each other. Good, Superman. Good, one more. Back to your feet. Going for that snatch. This is the last time for these. Okay, 5 on the side, we're gonna cross this off. Flat back, hips are down, throw it up. Good, switch sides. Excellent. Sip of water, I'll cross this off the list. And we're going back to the top. High taps. Here we go. Reverse lunges. Two more. Good. Ground overhead. One more, we're going to push-ups. Here you go. Here you're thinking about long back, long neck. Belly pulled in. All right, what do we have next? Down the floor, Otis up. Here it is. We got 2 more of these, then we're doing Russian twist. There you go. Long back, long back. Very good. Superman. Last time we're crossing these off. Good. All right. Sip of water. I'm going to cross these off. If you need a lower weight to keep moving at a quick pace, then please grab a smaller dumbbell or a smaller weight, whatever you're doing. All right. Back to the top. Keep it moving. Tapping on top. Standing tall. Reverse lunges. Won't you be happy to see these go? Two more. There you go. Round overhead. Three more. We're going to push-ups. Probably won't be sad to see those go either. There you go. Good. Find that solid plank in there first, and then take it down. Good. What do we got next? To the floor. Otis up, and then we'll do the Russian twist for last time. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. There you go, Russian twist. Last time for these. Check those knees. Shouldn't be moving. Whew. Okay, crossing that off. We're working our way down. I told you this is a long workout. But I'm proud of you for sticking with it. Okay. Just think about what you had to eat yesterday. Maybe that'll help get you through. Back to high taps. Here we go. Reverse lunges. Or you're up against the wall, maybe just doing some heel raises. That's fine. No matter what you're doing, you're always taking inventory of what your body's doing, how the core is solid, you're breathing, got proper form and alignment. I think we got one more. There we go. Round overhead. 2 more. Good. Push-ups. Take it against the wall if you need to. You can absolutely do that. Just find that solid plank and take it down. The further your feet are away from the wall, the harder it's going to be. Still want those elbows pointing back. Two more. Good. Last time for Otis up. Three more, we're crossing these off. Whew, happy to see those go. All right, we're working our way down. We're down to only 4 exercises. Back to your high taps. Reverse lunges. Modify it as you need to. Take the weight out if you need to. Just keep moving. Here we go. Ground overhead. My timer just told me the workout's over. Oops, not exactly. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome. Push-ups. Last time for these. Solid plank to start, whether you're at the wall or the bench or the floor. Long back, long neck. And that's it. We're crossing those push-ups off. Down to 3 exercises. There you go. Keep drinking your water. Back to the top. Oh, you got it. Overhead lunges. Last time for ground to overhead. We're almost home here. This is 8, 9, and 10. Let me cross those off. Back to high taps. Okay, moment you've been waiting for. Last time for the lunges. Whatever form you're using, whatever modification, this is it. 2 more. Good, set that down. We're gonna do 10 taps and we're done. Here we go. You did it, you did it. Let's do full body stretch. Whew, that was a hard one. So, you can absolutely modify that to make it much easier, and you can modify it to make it much harder. So, what you're shooting for is at the end of your workout, you should feel energized for your day. If you feel exhausted and spent, like, I just need to go lie down, then you worked out too hard. And that's not what you're going for here. Okay, bring one knee up when you're ready. Okay, you can see this is stretching out that hip flexor there. When you're ready, we're going to pull that across. Try and relax into that stretch. When you're ready, bring it back. Drive that heel out and take it up. Add those arms in. Find that good place of tension and work the ankle. Heel to your knee. Go ahead and lift those legs up. Now here is a stretch for that hip flexor of the top leg. It's also going in and stretching the glutes as well on that top leg. But by moving it around, you can feel how there's 11 different muscles that make up that hip flexor, and you'll feel it from different angles. Good, let's take it to the other side. Bring that knee up. Pull that knee across. Keep both shoulders on the mat. And try and relax into that rotation. Good, bring back. Drive that heel out. Take it up. Find a good stretch and hold it. And point hard, flex hard. Big circles, both directions. And bring that heel to your knee. Lift it up. And again, move it around. All right, when you're ready, help yourself sit up. Flip it over. Hands outside of your rib cage there. And press up. Now here it is. You're fighting to keep the hips on the ground. Long neck. The shoulders don't shrug up. Shoulders are down. Elbows are flexed. And each time you exhale, you're trying to get a little bit larger range of motion there. When you're ready, sit back in the hips. Reach those fingertips out. Good. Tuck the toes underneath. Lift the hips up. Now you're lengthening hamstrings there. Pressing the chest towards the mat. And work your way back to your feet. When you get all the way back, just sort of hang there for a moment. And slowly curl it up. Whew. You did it. Let me show you what you did. Okay. You did 100 high taps, 90 reverse lunges with overhead hold, 80 ground to overhead, 70 incline push-ups, 60 Otis up, 50 Russian twist, 40 Superman, 30 snatches, 20 rows, and 10 weighted squats. You are awesome. Okay, If it was too hard, then you know next time, bring it down a little bit, okay? And if it was too easy, or like, really, that was it, go out for a run or something to make up the difference, but next time make it a little bit harder for yourself, okay? My confession is, I'm not going outside today. I can do cold and I can do wet, but I can't do cold and wet. So I'm probably just gonna get on a bike for my stationary bike for a little while. But I hope you got a good workout. I really appreciate you showing up with me, and yeah, we're crushing it this April. So I'm very proud of you. Have an awesome day. I'll see you tomorrow morning.